Quite the display of destruction. And to think, only the two of us can pull something like this off. I wonder where they could be. I see. Look at you. Any other time, and you would have moved that debris on you by now. Well, aren't you going to struggle this time? No use. That is certainly new. What happened to that self-confidence you always wore? That hope you always bolster around to the people? Not this time, huh? Here, let me just... There. At least you'll be able to breathe a little bit better. I can see it now. That look in your eyes. It's over, isn't it? It's funny when you think about it. You hear all these tales about the hero always stopping the villain and saving the day, or in some cases the death of the villain themselves. But that's not the case here, is it? Oh, I see you still have just enough strength to speak, although it is faltering. No, I'm not going to put you out of your misery. I still need a minute to soak in the fact that this is the reality for us. Besides, no one else is here. The pain must be unbearable. But it is nothing compared to dying alone, so I'll do something good for once and sit here with you. I know. I'm the worst. That is the point. If not, then why do we even bother fighting each other? Actually, hold that thought if you still can. I'll come back to that. So, you must be wondering why I would waste my time with you in your final moments. It is complicated, to say the least. I'm sure most evildoers, if they were to be in my shoes, would be leaping for joy right now. But not me. I don't feel joy. If anything, I feel regret. Turmoil, even. A turmoil that will eventually evolve into emptiness. I cannot deny that I have brought this upon myself, but I would be a fool if I didn't accept that. There is one thing you must understand. I did this. I knew what I was getting into when I started this, and even though I don't know where I'll be at the end of this, I do know what my end goal is. Whether I get the chance to accomplish it or not is for fate to decide. And today it seems fate has decided this is where our eternal struggle ends. And like I said earlier, I should be overjoyed about this, but I'm not. Perhaps there's a reason as to why, as my main source of happiness was lost a long time ago. Every day, I still think about them every day. How could I not? There's no need to apologize, as you should already know that I won't accept it. It's not easy for a parent to bury their partner and child. I still wonder why. Out of all those people, why them? What did they ever do to anyone, or anything? Did they truly deserve to leave this living realm before I did? And add the fact that you just couldn't save them in time. You were too busy with another villain from your rogues gallery. You remember, right? When we locked eyes as I was holding the two things that I love the most in my arms. I'm sure you felt it. The weight of guilt on those mighty shoulders of yours. Maybe even back then you knew. You knew that this would not be the last time we would cross paths. When we met again for the first time, I was ready for you. I studied everything I needed to know about you, and you still have yet to know anything about me. Out of all those villains, I was the only one who knew how to gain a handle on you. The powers didn't matter. What mattered was the fact that I could put you in your place, ground you back down to earth, hurt you, just like you hurt me. And yet, that was the only thing I couldn't help but to wonder. Why? Why does it still hurt? Now that I think about it, I'm not the only one you failed to save, am I? No, of course not. I just happened to be the worst. The one that came back to haunt you more than anyone else. I bet it keeps you up at night, wondering where you went wrong. Don't feel too bad. It happens to me too. Even in your weakened state, you continuously insist that an apology will fix this. It may dishearten you to hear this, but it won't. It never will. They say you'll get over it. It's all a part of life. But I never got over it. Not yet, at least. It terrifies me to no end, knowing that I may never get over it. It's funny. We've been doing this for years, and this is the only time you've ever agreed with me. Just what is it that you seek? Some form of comfort? Redemption? Acceptance? Or maybe just to buy time? Some heroes they must be. They're taking their sweet time to come save you, yet you waste no time returning the favor for them. Truly ungrateful hypocrites. If it makes you feel any better, I get the same kind of treatment all the time. In my field, your allies aren't allies, not unless they can get something out of you. Or worse, leave you to perish so that they can save their own necks. No one cares about the bad guys. They'll only care when they hear about their funeral arrangement. But it'll be more of a celebration than anything. But not you. When you pass on, and judging by that fleeting look in your eyes, you will, they'll gather around all of your family and loved ones, all of your friends and teammates, all the people you saved, the strangers who believe in you and still will be believing, even after you're gone. They'll be there, shedding tears, sending condolences, planting memorials. You, my friend, will go down as a legend. You will be remembered. But I won't. There's no need for your pity. True. How could you forget a face like mine? Yes, I remember the day when I showed you it was me, the real me. That reaction. Your face was filled with such horror and shock upon realization, I could never forget. Why did I do what exactly? The face reveal? Well, the reason seemed silly, but I just wanted to show you that it was more than just a costume. It was a choice. A choice that I willingly made. So when the path revealed itself, there was nothing else left for me to do other than follow it. The mask and costume mean nothing if you're not willing to accept the dangers and horrors it brings. You would know something about that, wouldn't you? So when you decided to be the hero that you are now, it was a choice. With that being said, I must ask, do you regret it? I feel as though you're lying, but then again, you're not the type to lie like that. Do I regret this? I'm sure you already know the answer to that. You don't need to hear my answer. To be honest, I'm still contemplating it myself. Well, back on topic. Since this seems to be the end, there's one thing I always wondered about. It seems you read my mind. You know who I am, but I never could figure out who you are. I came close many times, but in the end, I never came to a proper conclusion. So, I must know, who is behind that mask? May I? Good, because even if you didn't agree, I would have done so anyways. It was you? All this time? I never would have thought. I guess now this brings a whole new meaning to personal business. What do you mean it's not too late? No, don't give me that. It was too late when I lost everything that day. How could you try and tell me that? My husband and my child were my everything. What else do I have left? Despite everything, you still have hope for me? Yeah, always have. What? You shouldn't forgive me so easily. Do I forgive you? I guess. Well, what do you know? Looks like they finally got off their butts and did something useful. Isn't that exciting? Hey. Wait. No pulse. I see. I guess you held out just long enough for one last conversation. Now that I know the truth, I have a lot to think about. The sirens are getting closer, which means it's time for me to leave. But before I do, don't worry about your sidekick. I'll make sure they become just as great as you were, even if it costs me my life. I'll keep them safe, only to be sure they get the chance to avenge you and end me, finally putting an end to this vicious cycle we started. Farewell, old friend.